Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I'll be checking out this video from Matt Walsh and it's titled Disney Snow White is a feminist dumpster fire, and here is the proof. You guys, I'm super excited for this. If you're here to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what this video is all about.
Last summer, Disney suffered a rare mishap on their way to defiling yet another beloved work of fiction with the usual DEI casting and woke plotting. Now, normally when Disney wants to destroy a franchise, they don't give you much warning that it's coming. With The Acolyte, for example, everyone kind of knew it would be garbage and a massive insult to the few remaining Star Wars fans. But the full magnitude of the disaster wasn't clear until it actually started streaming. Disney kept the lesbian space witches under wraps until they launched it, and then everybody reacted to it. But with Snow White, Disney had a problem. The Daily Mail got its hands on some photographs of what appeared to be a bunch of time-traveling hobos from the campus of Berkeley in the 1970s, standing in some field in England. And, in reality, these hobos were Disney's new replacements for the Seven Dwarves. Disney said that instead of the Seven Dwarves, their new Snow White film would feature magical creatures in order to, quote, avoid reinforcing stereotypes. Now, in another attempt to avoid reinforcing stereotypes, the film also reportedly would not include a Prince Charming, at least not as the character existed in the past. Instead, we were told the film would feature a stronger Snow White who dreams of, bossing everyone around, being a girl boss. And they brought in the writer of Barbie to make that happen. The film star, Rachel Zegler, was especially adamant about her hatred of the original story, saying, quote, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so, there's a big focus on her love story with the guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. We didn't actually, when we're telling the story, we're not actually going to tell the story. We're not doing that this time. She also added that it's no longer 1937 and promised that Snow White is not going to be saved by the prince because she's a strong and independent leader. Now, this messaging made it pretty clear that Disney was not making a Snow White film. So the only possible reason that they still make a Snow White film is to do everything they can to destroy the memory of the original film and ruin it like every other franchise they've touched. Now, for Disney, as you probably remember, all of this publicity, the Zegler interviews, the Daily Mail leak, caused a lot of unexpected, for them anyway, pre-production problems. People weren't supposed to see and understand just how unwatchable the new Snow White was going to be. It was supposed to be, kind of a surprise, but now there was no hiding it. They came under fire from pretty much everyone. The Game of Thrones actor Peter Dinklage, who has dwarfism, was especially irate, saying that he was taken aback before using some profanity. He also made it clear he didn't want dwarf actors in the film because he's the only dwarf actor who's allowed to get a job, apparently. No one else can. He's pulling up the very short ladder behind him. So a month later, Disney announced that they'd be delaying the release of the new Snow White film, ostensibly because of the writer's strike. But it's pretty clear what was really going on because Disney also released this updated photograph from the film, now featuring a CGI Seven Dwarves instead of the magical creature hobos. It was going to be this instead. This promotional still gave a lot of people hope that Disney had gotten the message. It led people to believe that they'd gone back and made changes to get rid of the wokeness entirely. But the problem is that Disney fundamentally isn't capable of making anything that is truly non-woke anymore. They just can't do it. You can't, when you hear Disney movies coming out, you don't need to wonder, oh, is it going to be woke? Like, yes, it's going to be. They don't have the personnel to make anything but that anymore, even after they received massive backlash. So with Snow White, they're sticking with the girl boss messaging and presumably the feminist plotting and so on. And we know that because of this footage from a screening of the film, which doesn't release widely until next year. But this footage has made the rounds on the internet. Let's see some of it.
Now you wash the dishes. You tidy up the room. You clean those cobwebs. And he'll use the broom. Whistle while you work. And cheerfully.
You guys, what are your thoughts on this video? I don't know what Disney is up to. But it seems like their sole purpose is to destroy every good movie by recasting them and putting all sorts of wokeness into a particular movie. This is insane. This is unhinged. And let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. And let's continue watching, you guys.
Together we can tidy up the place.
So, in the original Snow White, she cleans the cottage after woodland animals take her there. She's just happy that she has somewhere to remain hidden when her stepmother is trying to kill her. And when she learns the 7 dwarves live there, she offers to cook and clean the place for them as a sign of her gratitude. But in this modern version, Snow White breaks into the dwarf house. I mean, she does that in the original too. Breaking and entering is a theme in both, let's admit. But in this one, she breaks in and then forces the dwarves to clean for her. These dwarves who've been toiling away all day get to come home and get bossed around by the woman whose life they're helping to save and who they didn't invite into their house in the first place. They have to tidy up the place and sing while they do it. So clearly the Barbie screenwriter they hired to write this film thinks that this is a clever kind of role reversal. The woman is in control, the men are subservient, feminism achieved. But when you think about it, it's funny that making a feminist version of a character always means, in practice, just turning her into an unpleasant, unlikable nag. Like, they're never portrayed as competent, kind, well-adjusted. They're always making these weirdly passive-aggressive demands from other characters who didn't do anything to deserve it. All you're doing is, if you want to take a beloved female character and make her feminist, all you're doing is take all the things that make her beloved and get rid of those things. And now you have a feminist character. There's a deeper message in all this, although it's one that's obviously lost on the Barbie writer. And by the way, watching that scene, it's not just the writer who's very terrible at her job. You can look at the dwarves. Now, we could presume that this is the CGI they had to create very quickly after they jettisoned the hobos in the photographs that the Daily Mail leaked. But it's been more than a year at this point. Is that really the best they could do? Like, the dwarves look uncanny and cheap, like something out of a Nintendo 64 cutscene in 1999. And these are central characters in the story. Even if Disney has decided to remove them from the title of the film, they still are. Now, to be fair, the one human in the scene doesn't fare much better. Snow White's hairstyle is also weirdly ugly. It's apparently inspired by Javier Bardem's character in No Country for Old Men. And that's it's a bit of a nitpick, but when you have any degree of respect for the source material, you don't make a lot of mistakes like this. You have some level of pride in your work, and you make sure that you put out something that looks like a competent production. But the new Snow White is not a competent production because Disney doesn't care about storytelling. They just don't care about the product they put on the screen. And people on the right tend to think that the political bias is the biggest problem in Hollywood, but Hollywood has been liberal for as long as most of us have been alive. The difference is that while being liberal, they used to care about telling stories. And they put some pride into the stories they told. And now they don't. And that is why Disney's new Snow White and her Nintendo 64 quality CGI dwarves are today canceled.
You guys, that was such an interesting one from Matt Walsh. And like Matt Walsh said, Disney don't care about telling story. They care about pushing a particular narrative, and the narrative they are pushing in this movie is the feminist narrative. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. They have successfully ruined these beautiful movies for kids, and I know for sure that people are definitely going to hate this Snow White. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.